Take your pick on a brand new Bobcat mower from West End Sales in Vail. Pick 0% APR on financing for 60 months or get an $800 instant rebate. You just take your pick and pick out your new Bobcat mower. Take a look at a Bobcat ZT2000, $500 instant cash rebate. A Bobcat ZT3000, $700 instant cash rebate. Or the Bobcat ZT3500 with an $800 instant rebate. See them today at West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail. Online at westendsales.com. Like them on Facebook too.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Deerbrook Golf Club. I'm Kevin Hastings along with Zach May today. We're starting up our special editions of the Shock Joxx Weekday Sports podcast. Let's see, we'll have Will Boykins and Shannon Allen and some other folks on here in a couple of weeks, and we'll get that going. Right now, we just keep getting chased by this yellow jacket.
Yeah,
we got one yellow jacket that's bothering us, and we need a hat or something. Oh, I got him. I blind
I think you made him mad. I think he flew off.
I just pissed him off. I don't know what I did. I smacked him with my hand. I just didn't get stung. So hopefully I'll fly swatter probably at some point to kill this yellow jacket, maybe. But let's see if we can get our live shots set up here, Zach, for the folks at home. We are out at Deerbrook today. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Good morning. The yellow jacket landed right here. He's been all over me. I wonder if he likes the yellow shirt. Because he really wouldn't.
I don't know if they look at color.
I thought they were looking for colorful, so to attract the bees.
I mean, it very well could. I have no clue.
But yeah, he was trying to eat me up. But good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, actually. We're live here at Deerbrook, and we're gonna. So if the signal goes in and out right now, we're still working on where to set up here with our internet and getting good signals and all that good stuff. But what we're going to start bringing to you folks is some weekday sports updates here on KTC live streaming on our broadcast here through YouTube, maybe through Facebook here in the next couple of weeks. Probably get through Facebook once we get on and going. But other than that, we're ready to rock. Zach and I was going to be talking a little bit of stuff going on this week in sports. So we're going to don't have too much prepared for today. We just kind of wanted to welcome everybody and give everybody a reminder and tell everybody what's going on. Zach, first of all, we want to start here at Deerbrook and tell everybody about what goes on here on Friday nights, because we're going to be here on Fridays in the mornings. Sipping on some tea, eating a biscuit, but you come back here on Friday nights and a little bit about on Saturday as well, Zach. What goes on here?
They have
Deerbrook. Mulligan. We're at Mulligan's Restaurant at Deerbrook Golf Club.
They have a lot going on all week over here at Mulligan's, and want everybody to know that this is not a private club specifically. He wants to make sure everybody knows that they can come in and eat anytime. Mm-hmm. The staff is very hospitable. Wayne does a good job of managing this place over here on it. And they get on Friday nights we have a karaoke. It starts at 7 o'clock, goes to 10 o'clock with Scott Richards. Come on out and sing a couple songs. Get you some really, really good food. They have fish special on Friday night. It's usually you can get a fish fillet.
Seafood platter is what I saw in there?
Yep, a seafood platter. Fish fillet with shrimp. You can either get small shrimp or big shrimp with it. Comes with Hush Puppies fries. Very, very good. I've had it personally. Saturdays here they have their steak special. That's the best day to come get a steak. It's $25 for a New York strip on Saturday nights and $28 for a fillet. So that's about $10 off the regular price.
Okay.
So it's, one makes one of the best steaks. Chef One makes one of the best steaks around. Taco Tuesdays. Always remember Taco Tuesdays. They got 4 different tacos. It's fantastic. They do them every day during lunch, but they run a special on Tuesdays. And then Wing Wednesdays. They wanted to pump up Wing Wednesdays for sure. And then again back on Saturday night, a wine price that's really, really good. So come on out. They have a lot of fun out here, and we definitely have fun on Friday nights for karaoke.
So I don't have the computer set up to show everybody what we're looking at online and everything, but we're going to get all that going here in the next couple of weeks, and where you guys we might have to use that at some point. And anyway, for the folks there online, if we did get kicked off, we are working on getting our internet signals and everything here good to go, and make sure we got high-speed internet. So it's showing good right now, and so we'll stay connected and going. We will record this and repost here later for quality purposes. It always looks better that way anyway. But we are live here from Mulligan's Restaurant here at Deerbrook Golf Club. Zach talks about the steak night. And he'll be doing. I'm going to get stung by this joker at some point. I got to get a hat or something so I can swat him out in the car. Zach, will you
do a commercial break and see if anything's in my car?
I know I've got one in my car, and so that's what I was going to go check on. I'm going to go. I tell you what, Zach, I'm going to give you the leaderboard here to look up and read to the folks at home. Give me 2 seconds here, Zach, before you do something here. I got the mouse here.
I can use
on this table. No, not while it's connected like this. Here, just give me 1 second. I'll get you set up. So, McElroy, who was tied for the lead, is already +2 on the day, Zach. So he's sitting down here at -3. So there's your leaderboard. I'm gonna find me a hat to kill this yellow jacket with.
Yeah, McElroy +2 for the day. He had a 65 yesterday. I think my mic just went down. He had a 65 yesterday.
Your mic?
Yeah, I can't hear my.
Turn yours up. Turn 2 up.
2 up. There we go. Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. So McElroy was is +2 right now. He is through 9 holes. He shot a 65 yesterday. Very, very good day for McElroy. Leader right now is Patrick Cantley. He is -5. He also shot a 65 yesterday. Now, Thomas Detry, he is having a really, really good day out on the course. He is -3. He is -3 today. And he's -3 today. He is through hole 4, so he is doing very, very well. He has put him at -4 right now. He's tied for second, so he is up 7. We just had a flip flop. Now it's posting live. So Ludwig Aberg shot a 66 yesterday. He is 4 under also. Terrell Hatton -3. He is -1 for the day. He's through 9. So he's playing with Roy in there. So Roy's not having a really, really good day. Mr. Hatton's having a good day on the course. So it looks like the course is playing about what a U.S. Open usually does. You have a couple people that's going to be under par, and then it's going to be a tough course always at the U.S. Open.
Well, just looking at Rory today, he was -5 yesterday. He's +2 today. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Awesome waitress here.
Yeah,
He'll keep me full of sweet tea here. I'm gonna be floating today, but I don't mind it at all. Great sweet tea, good sweet tea here, folks. If you want, make sure you're coming for dinner and everything. Folks always want to know, is the sweet tea good?
That's generally what I get when I come on Friday nights. Judah always goes with the traditional Coke.
Okay, so you can get either one of those here, but Hatton, Zach's one of those guys that he's a fiery fella, and he said it's fun. He says this tournament's fun to him because he gets upset at every shot he messes up anyway. He said it's fun seeing the other guys be frustrated like him, so now they're on his level of frustration, so now everybody's on the same frustration level. So Hatton was joking that he's good to go in this, and he's sitting there and tied for 3rd place right now, -3 with Rory. Hatton's -1 today, and McElroy is +2 today. Both of them through 9 holes. I think Rory, though, they may be playing together. I'm not sure. Today, and then DeChambeau's +1 today. He's at -2. Schauffele's -1 today, and Pendrith is -2 today so far on the leaderboard. Now, you was talking, Zach, about
somebody was -4, but he disappeared off the lead, just like live leader that went away.
We're going to go.
He was second.
We'll go down to the bottom of the list. So +13 was the highest yesterday. We got a few of those. Where did you say? Some of the older Mickelson ended up at 9.
Yeah, he was +9 times. He tied with
Victor
+5.
Hovland at +9. And let's see if any other folks wanted to. Hogue is +6. Zalatoris +5. Webb Simpson +5. There's some names. These are outside of the cut list.
Dustin Johnson's there with Tiger.
Where were they
+4.
Why can't I not? Oh, I see them. So Tiger and Dustin Johnson at +4 today. They tee off. Tiger would tee off at 115. Dustin Johnson 135. So if you want to check those guys out, they'll be teeing off here in just a little bit. They are outside the cut line. Projected cut at +3 right now. So they're sitting at +4. They're going to need to have a good day, Zach, to make the weekend. And I'm sure they can shoot 1 under par, but we'll see if they will here at the U.S. Open. At Pinehurst, I've been to Pinehurst. If you folks are going down, I don't recommend you wearing any type of good shoes. I wore my flip-flops because I like walking through the grass and relaxing in the grass and somewhere and sitting. But like at Pinehurst, Zach, all the sides is like wood. It's wooded area and it's sandy. It's black sandy. So you get black sand on. If you're washing in your shoes, you might get it in your shoes. But I don't know what to do. Either way. I would say either wear
Crocs.
Some not good shoes. But if you do wear sandals and stuff, your feet are gonna be black by the end of the day from the dirt and the sand there. And so it is interesting, Zach, going to say a U.S. Open, and over here at Quail Hollow is in what Hatton's talking about. Conditions are perfect. Like even in the rough, like I can take a nap in the rough in the shade at Quail Hollow. I go to almost any hole, find a shady spot, and lay down in the grass, and it just feel like the greatest grass in the world. And you just relax and watch golf. At that U.S. Open at Pinehurst, you can find seats, but you need to like bring your own chair. You're not going to sit down in the sand like that. It's almost like a beach. It's like you're sitting on a beach, and it is down east. But what I'm saying is that like go prepared, be prepared if you are going down for different things. But what I was going to say is that the fairways in the U.S. Open, Zach, half as small as Quail Hollow, and you look at Quail Hollow, and they cut it thinner than what it usually is, but still. My goodness, that Pinehurst was thin. I'm just like, they're hitting this ball 300 yards and landing on half a fairway. And that's the amazing part about the pros there in the U.S. Open is that, we laugh at them on TV and the hackers get out here and they'll slice one in the woods. And like, dude, you weren't even 200 yards close to what the pros would have had to hit, a little slit that they would have had to hit. But it is so tight. It just blew my mind.
And that's why that's why you usually try to do the U.S. Open. They like to have real tight fairways, and they like to have grass that's in the rough that you pay for it if you miss.
Yep. All right, we're going to shift over, guys, giving you a preview of kind of every Saturday we have our big show, 8 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. with myself, Terry Reinhardt, Tom Sinofani. Zach's in there, has been in there in the past. He's going to move to Fridays with us, but he will fill in Saturdays when we need it. Mm-hmm. We'll have Chip Carter in the house as well, and then JP. As always, the new studios are pretty much finished, so we're pretty much getting ready to get back in. We will come out here to Deerbrook on Friday. Zach and I enjoy the weather, and we'll be inside during the winter. But we're going to come out here, enjoy the weather, and have a good time out here and go over some stuff. So we're going to shift over to NBA Finals and something I brought up last week in the Western and Eastern Conference Finals, Zach, is that what is the NBA done or what are they doing to where like every series is not even contestable? It's 3-1 or the early round series. It used to be those were the blowouts, and then the second and third rounds it gets tighter and tighter, and the finals are usually pretty tight. Jordan didn't sweep anybody.
There was a sweep with the Magic when
I'm talking about in the finals.
Yeah, with Magic with Hakeem.
Okay, so that was how long ago?
Oh God, 90. Was it 96?
That's what I'm saying. Like, so there's so
96,
many.
95 maybe.
Yeah, it was 94.
95 because that was the 2 years that they won the.
He beat Patrick.
It would have been 95.
Look, he beat Patrick Ewing and Shaq.
But you usually don't have sweeps in the finals.
And so we're sitting here looking at this, and it's I want drama. I want Game 6. I want Game 7, and I've always had a problem in the last few years of the NBA where the same two teams can play back-to-back weeks, and but whoever's home floor they're on, that team wins by 30. That would almost never happen like the NFL. Like baseball's different because of pitching. It can happen different days, but like other sports like NFL, you play. If the Cowboys is better than the Panthers and they play on this Sunday and they play 3 weeks from now, whoever the Cowboys is going to probably win both of them, but not in the NBA and back-to-back. And that's just what's I know teams make adjustments, but like 50-point swing adjustments, that's not what they're doing. So, and everybody throws the gambling accusations at them and everything, especially when the things hit on what they're supposed to be. We just had an NBA player pretty much suspended for life for gambling on it. So, anyway, Zach, just we haven't had anything competitive here in a few weeks of basketball, and it's kind of like, as far as the season goes, I won't say ruined it, but like, there's not been too much excitement since the semifinals in the NBA.
It's almost like with the load man. So I'm placing the blame on the players a lot. I think it's almost like the load management a little bit, where they might take some plays off. They might take some things off, where they just don't have the competitive drive. I don't think they have the competitive drive that some of the we was talking about the '90s teams and stuff like that. That they like, let's say Bird or Magic or Jordan. They wouldn't not want to go out and get beat by 30 by somebody. These guys get beat by 30, and they out there fist bumping them. And hey, we'll get y'all next game. Yeah. It was more personal back in the 90s. So it has not been as competitive. It's a different game almost too, and I don't know how much that plays into it too. I mean, if you're jacking up, tons of threes and you're on, you could blow. Does that make sense? Like, you could really, if you're hot and if you're off, man, you can get blown out by 30.
That's probably a good point on that, Zach. Is that the fact of the matter is that, like you said, and that's how Golden State used to. If you remember correctly, they would put people away early, and then the games would be over. Teams would take their starters out and all that. And
chance basketball is what he called it.
Accidental basketball.
Accidental, yeah. You know the whole story, where he said that it's not played like with purpose on offensive strategies. They go in and kick out, and it was, like I said, accidental basketball. Well, a lot of times if you're not hitting on those, you could get blowed out really quick. If you're having a really good game, you might can get up 30. Like you said, especially with the Splash Brothers, their whole deal. I mean, they were pretty consistent, and that's why that they had the team that they had to get up and get all the starters out.
So I guess no comeback here for Dallas. Prediction for you?
I don't think it's even close. I picked it 4-2, and I don't even know if it'll get to that. If Dallas gets one game, I'll be surprised.
So Andre's a big our friend that works with us is a big. He's a big Luka fan. He's been texting all the playoffs.
He's my favorite player too.
And I like him as well, but I haven't heard from him this week, and he came in the office yesterday. I was like, man, I ain't got a single text about Luka Doncic this week. He's like, oh, shut up.
I don't know what the deal is.
I told him, I said, they could have let Minnesota take a shot at him. Like, they would have gave him a better shot. Like, how do they go from beating the team that beat the champs and then turn around and no show in the finals? And see, the reason I picked him when we talked about it earlier, I thought Kyrie would be ready for revenge. Yep. I thought he's won in the finals. He would be ready for revenge. I thought Luka was ready to take his step. And the thing about this finals is, and I said last Saturday I had a problem with, is you got two teams with Duke players leading them, and you don't know what's going to happen. And I just thought at this point that Luka and then we're going to do it. But Boston's depth is really, really important as far as Drew Holiday and Porzingis, and now Porzingis is out, of course. But as far
they
as
didn't
Holiday,
capitalize on that though with that last game.
Right.
If they could have grabbed that last game, they had a shot.
It's just, where's everybody else on the team for Dallas disappeared to, Zach? Like, where?
Kyrie has not played well. Luka has not played. Now, he's had some stats, but he hadn't played.
He ain't played
really
good defense.
well. Yeah.
He's played good offense. Let's looking at the looking at the last game here. My thing is that in the Minnesota series, it seemed like everybody for Dallas was pitching in, helping. P.J. Washington was going off, and remember, these big men for Dallas was dunking all over Rudy Gobert and everything. So you got Kyrie 35, Luka 27, and then the rest of the lineup with 21 points. And that's
you can't.
That right there is that's a Chicago Bulls stat line from the 90s right there with Jordan and Pippen.
For him, Horford, as old as he is, comes in. He's very serviceable, but he's a great defensive player, and he's somebody that knows. He's smart basketball.
Halftime score was 51-50, and then Boston outscores Dallas in the third quarter, 35-19.
And basically, what happened in Game 2 also, it was very, very close in Game 2, and then I don't know if, but Game 2 was very similar to that. Boston came back. Dallas was actually had the lead right there at halftime, and then Boston came back, got like an 8-9-0 run, took the lead in the halftime, and then score was very similar in Game 2 also.
Well, so that's
I'm sure Terry's happy.
He has nothing else to.
He ain't even. I don't even think he's waiting until the end of it. So especially if it's a sweep, we're all going to hear that.
Well, I mean, there's nothing. Well, there's nothing to say right now. It's just been easy going for him. And like I said, I'm just disappointed we don't have any competitive. We haven't had anything competitive in the Western Conference in 3 weeks almost.
And if you remember, Boston got almost some layups in the playoffs themselves before this series. They've had the teams that had injured players.
So, if you've been watching any of the coverage, the only thing they ever talk about in that right now is the Lakers. Lakers. Who's going to win the night? Mavs and Celtics. And they'll be like, well, LeBron talked to J.J. Redick about Bronny's draft status today. And you're like, what? So, that's where they go. They're all paid. They're all ingrained in with him and everything. A lot of them are. So Dan Quinn ends up turning it down. He said they didn't offer him enough money.
He was making somewhere around 30. Thank you. He was making somewhere around $36 million with the UConn. He was offered double that for the Lakers for basically the same amount of years. He was offered like $76 million, and he turned it down. I don't think he would have been a good fit. I don't see this is just me. I don't see a college guy going into the pros and having the authority that he did in the college game to implement his processes.
I think that somebody will do it and be okay with it. Problem is, it's got to be with the right teams. And the NBA is so weird. Like, they're looking at hiring J.J. Redick, who's never coached before. So, like, how can someone, you got people like Larry Brown or someone who knows an infinite amount of basketball, they're not hiring. They're hiring J.J. Redick. Now, I'm not saying J.J. Redick don't know anything about basketball. Obviously, he does. He's a good player. He's a smart player. He went to Duke.
But is he a coach?
But is he a good coach? Has he ever coached before? There's a difference between knowing the game and then telling people in a huddle, hey, you're not doing this, and they'd be like, yeah, you're right, I should do that.
Or calling the right play.
As opposed to them just walking out there and being like, I'm just going to do it on my own.
I mean, they draw up plays at the end of the game, and he's got to draw the right play up, and we know that LeBron's pretty much the coach of that team. That's why they went through so many. It's been a rolling door. And somebody said the other day on one of the big networks that that's going to hurt his legacy because you can't defend how many coaches you've been through.
Well, it's
because he puts the blame on them.
Correct, and that's the issue is so. Michael only wanted to play for Phil or Doug Collins.
Kobe. Same.
Kobe only wanted to play for Phil. And he ended up playing for other people, but he only wanted to play for Phil.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is that, they wanted to learn from their coaches, and LeBron doesn't want that. There is no learning from coaches. It is, he's the coach, I'm the best player, and I know what's best while I'm on the floor, and I'm going to do that. And then he's drawing up plays and stuff. At no point has he ever been just sit there. And the whole thing is like you said, if you're going to coach them, you're getting set up to be blamed. And if you do win, you're like, well, you should have won. You have a loaded roster. You have all the money in the Lakers. You should win. So I just don't see why it's not like they're the Charlotte Hornets act. Like, why is the Los Angeles Lakers begging coaches?
It's not a good look.
Coaches to come coach them, and everybody knows it's because nobody wants to be blamed.
That's exactly what it is.
When they miss the playoffs or something else by LeBron, and excuse me, a little sip of tea there. I don't know why. If I was Hurley, I wouldn't have even talked to him.
No.
If I'm an established coach. Now, if they went after somebody that, an up-and-comer, you remember how Shaka Smart rose real quick, and he should, something like that where he took an NBA job, that wouldn't surprise me too much. But both of their choices have been a college coach who's never coached in the NBA or never played in the NBA at all, and a guy who's never coached at all who did play in the NBA. Now, most good coaches, I think, in the NBA were former players who weren't stars. Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, Lenny Wilkins, they were all players, but none of them were Bird was pretty successful actually as a coach, but Magic, Michael, Patrick Ewing, none of them have had any type of success as far as running the organizations, and so I don't know why would you take that job? Other than it's the Lakers. Like, that's the biggest thing. So when the Los Angeles Lakers call you and offer you $15 million to coach them, how do you turn that down? That's the biggest. That's probably whether LeBron's there or not. Now, with him there, they reported yesterday that the Lakers worked out Bronny. So, is he going to even make it to their picks, or, Zach, will a team, like, snipe him out of there like we talked about, like somebody like the Hornets being like, now, the Hornets are probably too high to do it, but somebody in the teens, and I mean by high in the draft pick, not like they're high. That's how they usually are. That's how they draft. They're high. But like, they're the sixth. I don't know if you do that with the sixth pick. If they have the 12th or 13th, that they're just somebody that might shoot a shot at drafting Bronny, I believe.
You talk about LeBron too, and the one time that he had a reputable former coach that was over the organization, he stopped all that. And we talked about that with Spoelstra and how he said, look, we're keeping Spoelstra. You can just go on about your business, and that was a good decision for them. He stuck with what he thought was best. So Pat Riley, fantastic on that. But with Bronny, somebody's probably, they're going to do that.
He should have won. I understand he went back to Cleveland and won a championship, but honestly, for his legacy and everything, he should have stayed in Miami. And if he would have stayed under Pat Riley and Spoelstra and them working around him and redoing the rosters and everything, that probably would have been best for his legacy and winning as well.
Because unlike Charlotte, they can get free agents.
Oh, yeah.
They came out the same time we did. You remember it was us and the Heat, I believe, the same year.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have been
Timberwolves.
It was us. Okay, yeah, because Magic came out in that time and the Heat also. So
Magic,
it was always like
Heat,
four. It was all four.
We're all in a few years
but,
together.
They can draw the free agents where we have a really, really hard time. We're almost like a farm league team. That we got to hit on our draft picks. We hadn't done very well. I think last year's draft pick, I think it's a good pick for us.
It's not like people are going to OKC. They drafted Westbrook, Durant, Harden. They drafted all these guys.
Big tall guy.
All of them.
Just like Wembyana, I can't think of his name right now.
Chet Holmgren.
Yep, Holmgren.
They hit on their draft picks. We don't. Well, the Hornets.
And they also traded their
I can't remember
players.
what I was about to look up.
They traded their players to get draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, they hit on their trades. They lost some big name stars, but boy, did they load up on their draft picks. Very similar to how Boston did it, and why Boston's.
Let's go to NBADraft.net and see what. We'll go to NBA.com. Consensus mock draft. I wonder if that's got drafts from other different picks. All right, so let's go. They use, some notes in our first mock draft. This is an NBA.com draft, and trying to see their sources. We looked at mock drafts from around the web before the presented by Style. Goodness. The consensus mock draft is a compilation of the best mock drafts around the web. We bring them together to provide a solid estimate of how the draft could play out. So I guess these guys look at a few different drafts and then and through their stuff. Let's read some of their notes on this draft. We've got a challenge at the top. Now that the combine is behind us, 8 of the 10 mocks have been updated. Previous consensus number 1, Alexander Sarr from France, by fellow Frenchman Zachary Richard, is a 4-4 split decision. Sarr fills the second slot in each draft that he's not listed first, while Richard, and I know I'm probably pronouncing that totally wrong.
I would too.
Has some variance, so the center retains the lead for now. The third French prospect in the mix, Saloon, has climbed and is now cast as high as 5. ESPN reported the knee injury suffered by Serbian prospect Nikola Topic has partially torn the ACL, causing him a drop from a cleared third down the middle of the pack at 7th and further. He's so good he was third. He moved to 7th with a torn ACL. Might want to keep an eye on that guy, Zach.
Yeah, and you look at that. It's top heavy on European people.
I mean, Luka don't need an ACL, really. He don't move that fast.
So our brand that we're producing over here is not coming out with the fundamentals that they're producing out of the Euro leagues. And we talk about Luka coming. He was a pro at 13.
So let me finish reading that, and I'll come out. Reed Shepard's risen into the stops from 3rd or 4th and 7 of 8 mock drafts. So Reed Shepard moving up in the top 10. Dropping out of the consensus lottery is Isaiah Collier and Devin Carter. What was you just saying about that?
I was talking about the the Euro leagues are producing people that are more fundamentally
like I said,
sound.
Luke was playing when he was 16.
He was a pro at 13, and he was playing for a big name team at 16.
So the Europeans kind of do like with their soccer clubs is they put you on teams and you compete, and based on how good you are, you move up or whatever. So in America, you play the AAU, and defending them a little bit. If I was on a basketball court with 5 people I really didn't know or friends or whatever they were, and your purpose in that is to get people to look at you and scout and see you, I'd ball hog a little bit too. And there is like winning a tournament in the week, winning a weekend tournament, and this is like the travel ball thing, and this is what they're talking about a lot of with the transfer portal. There's 4,000 kids in the baseball transfer portal right now. So like they're talking about high school kids aren't going to be picked; they're going to have to go to JUCO because I can get an adult as opposed to a kid, unless they're throwing 90, 95.
Yeah, phenoms.
So basketball in America kind of the same way. You play these AAU tournaments where you're out there playing ball. You don't care if you don't win that tournament. Are you going home? Are you going to cry? But if you lose your conference championship game or conference tournament game or state championship, so most of the kids end up crying when it's all over with, and you're upset and you lost. That's my last basketball game with these guys. You have so much tied into it, and those kids that play that, I would recommend more than I would. You know, the AAU guys, the obvious guys that are like 6'8", 6'9", those guys. But like the guards that play, a lot of them, I would take the ones that play with a high school team that led a team. Like leading a team in that is different than shaking people. Like I would say Kyrie's probably more, the AAU type player, and then you got other point guards. Trying to think. They don't even have any in the league now that are past. Do we have any past first point guards in the league right now? And so that's the thing about it is that in basketball, we've talked about this before. No people. You get excited about your scoring point guard. Only 2 point guards under 6'9" in the history of the NBA have led their team in scoring and won a championship.
And the one that was 6'9" was assist guy.
Yeah, the one that 6'9" is the all-time assist leader, or was. Magic Johnson. So Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, and Isaiah Thomas are the only 3 point guards to lead their teams. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, shooting from half court. Magic Johnson 6'9". So that means Isaiah Thomas is the only true point guard that's won a championship.
And arguably
he wasn't there,
the best small player.
and nobody talks about it. And he's on our, and we talk, and this is going to be part of our shows. Is every day we're going to do a little Mount Rushmore or something. But he's everybody talks about it. He's got to be on the point guard Mount Rushmore, and they don't talk about it. It's got to be Magic, Oscar, and Isaiah Thomas. Who would be the next?
I mean,
next rung is John Stockton.
that was the next name I come up. But you talk to the guys
no
that was on the dream
championships.
team, and you ask them, they said Isaiah should have been on that team.
That's correct. Everybody knows it. Well, Isaiah was fantastic, and he won 2 championships. John Stockton didn't. John Stockton's got the assists and steals. Isaiah's got 2 titles, and everybody.
Stockton was good.
And everybody back then would have picked Isaiah Thomas. He was whatever you think, whoever you think the best scoring point guard in today is. He was that in that era, and
he was tough. People
and
forget that.
Yeah, but nobody liked him because he was the two-faced.
He's like an antithesis
He was
guy.
the two-faced tough guy. He would smile. He was the smiling face of that franchise because Mahorn wasn't, Lambeer wasn't.
Yeah.
Dumars
Rodman.
would a little bit. Rodman wasn't. So Isaiah was the smiling killer. He would shake your hand. He was kind of like Michael
He'd
before
give you a kiss
Michael.
on
As far
cheek.
as, right.
Magic,
Right before. So he don't get the credit he deserves enough as they do. But yeah, he's going to be on ours. So what I was getting at is that you got these point guards. Every team it seems has a point guard that can get 15 to 20 points, but how many can get 10 assists? And that's what you need to be looking at as far as your team. So this one goes Hawks. The 2 French guys, first 2, Reed Shepherd going 3rd in this one. The I keep calling him dude. I'm gonna call him dudes. The dude from Lithuania with a torn ACL going 4th. They've got the Hornets picking a Stefan Castle at 6.
Is he a wing?
We're gonna go through these. So we're gonna skip. Reed. They got Reed Shepherd, Kentucky guard, 6'3",
He's Kentucky.
and they got him as 3rd overall.
He's a pretty good ball player. I watched Kentucky a couple times this year.
Is he Rex Chapman?
No.
Is that what we're looking at?
No.
Or are you talking about like Duncan Robinson? Is he talking about being a sharpshooter? He's only 6'3". Is he the point guard or is he a shooting guard? That's what.
He's a lot like JJ.
Mm-hmm.
JJ Redick.
But are you picking him third?
This is a very, very shallow. You're not getting a superstar in this draft.
So then you pick the best. Like I always say, put the wings and make them play one-on-one, and whoever wins the tournament is your pick. Donovan Klingon, or whatever it is, going to San Antonio. Why would they pick a center when they already got a center at 4? Who did this mock draft? It's just stupid. Stephen Castle. Will do what needs to be done, whatever it is, whichever end of the floor. A move on the ball could unlock another level. Does that mean he's a defender? Is that MKG? That's who they got to Detroit.
We don't need another NKG in Charlotte.
I think
shoot.
they might want to go with this guy. They got this guy, Mattis Bazelis, G League Unite, 6'8", big forward with a shooting touch.
Yeah,
it's
decent. You know, we got to have. So we got. If we don't move off LaMelo, but we also
scoring in the paint.
we need somebody down below too. We got to find that person that the NBA is getting really good at now. That's a big man that can score and can pass to.
I keep seeing Dillingham. He was on Kentucky too. They said, I thought, was he not the better player than Reed Shepherd? And then but they got Shepherd third, Dillingham 10th. And I've been feeling Dillingham at. Listen,
Shepherd's. I think his parents were players too. I think he's got a little bit of a pedigree, so he's getting pushed up the board a little bit. I'm surprised he's actually coming out because he was a freshman or sophomore. Does it say?
Who, Dillingham?
Yeah.
Freshman?
No, Shepherd.
Shepherd, freshman as well.
Yeah, I was surprised that he came out.
Well, if they tell you you're going to be top 3, you're coming out.
But the money you can make in Kentucky, though, but
not
you got
top 10.
And now you got Calipari not being there, so maybe it would say, hey, I got to sell high, I'm going now.
He didn't want to go to Arkansas. Dillingham, shooting is there, and he's a certified bucket, but the size limitations kick in when playmaking isn't the thing.
He can play.
Shepherd 6'3", too.
Yeah, but Dillingham can play. He's the better of the two players at this point. Now, I don't know about future, but JJ's a good. Shepherd's a JJ that as a freshman.
Okay.
I think he could come in and fill a JJ role where he's going to be a paid marksman, a journeyman. Go team to team and playoff teams that want a shooter on the outside.
All right, Zach, we'll switch over to the NFL for a few minutes. You got your Panthers owner asking for money here. We talked a little bit about that last weekend. Should cities and towns be pitching in?
No.
To build these stadiums?
No.
And it used to be a thing and my thing is, if the city of Charlotte or county or state ends up paying for the stadium, the reason I think the owners want to do it, one, is they don't want to pay for it themselves, and that rich people don't spend their own money, like Tom said. But the other thing is that if they're not financially tied to the stadium, they can move their team. And I think that's what they want. That's why they want the cities to pay for it, the cities to upgrade it, because if they can leave and go wherever they want, I think these franchises would rather be able to bounce from city to city, upgrade a new stadium. This city will build us a new stadium, and then you're not tied to that. So the Chiefs, they've been asking for money. They're in a weird spot, and the Kansas City fans, I don't know what they're going to do. Their owners, folks. Their house is built into the stadium. Their mansion is built into the stadium. And they're asking for taxpayers to upgrade the stadium, which they live in, basically. So Kansas City has been telling them no. There's a lot of people saying, let's move them to St. Louis, across the state.
And they have a huge fan base.
Yeah.
It ain't like this is like us where if the team's good, we got a fan base. If the team's not good, we don't have fan base.
These owners are asking for, for the money now they've been successful. Panthers haven't been successful. We talked about a little bit last week. To me, it's just this happens every time. Like, so he didn't sell hardly any tickets, or the tickets were sold because they were PSLs and all that other stuff. But they didn't have. I bet their beer consumption had to be half of or less than what if they have a full house, because every game we would look on TV and it was
nobody there,
half empty Zach, when Romo played for the Cowboys, that stadium was 75-25 or 60-40 Panthers fans. Last one I went to, it was 85% Cowboys fans. It was totally taken over. Totally different. I went to the playoff game when they beat Aikman them. 90 do not support losers. They don't.
Yep. And
if the Charlotte Hornets had a winning team today, it would be the most hopping
Absolutely.
arena in America.
We proved that in the 90s for the capacity. What was the
when the Panthers are good,
every
it's
year.
the hardest thing to get a ticket in town, is it not? It's expensive, and teams. But and here's what people don't get that's not from North Carolina. Most people from North Carolina are either Duke or
Yep.
North Carolina Tar Heel fans. And those programs set such a high standard of excellence and success that transfers over to, well, I'm a Hornets fan, and we never win. I'm not going to the game. I'm a Panthers fan, and we're not winning. I'm not going to the game. Or I'm a Hurricanes fan, or whatever it is. You're used to winning in that sport and dominating that sport, and then you look at the other ones, and you're like, what are we doing? So, like, the Ohio State Cleveland fans are funny to me because, you know, Tom is, like, on top of the world with Ohio State every year, but Cleveland Browns and then Cincinnati Bengals as well, fans not winning. Cincinnati's been to 3 Super Bowls at least, but it's just a weird dichotomy there. But like that's what I think a lot of it is. I think North Carolina people, they're not going to waste their time on a loser when they could be playing golf out here at Deerbrook or somewhere else like that, or doing something with the family, as opposed to going to a stadium and spending. People don't like spending money on losers. That if I go to the stadium, I spend $250.
Yeah.
I want you guys to win or be competitive.
And I don't think that the city or the taxpayer should have to pay for it, because number one, the taxpayers are the ones that's coming to buy your tickets.
Right.
They're buying your beer.
Right.
They're buying your food.
Right.
They shouldn't have to buy the stadium. If they do, they should get amendments to go in there for free.
Well, we figured out it's a couple thousand a Charlotte taxpayer, and then like you said, then you got to go in and buy the PSL to buy the ticket. So it's best thing to do is just pick some games and buy on StubHub or SeatGeek and all those other apps that you can get on there and pick and choose your seat, and it'll be expensive if they're good. We're good right now, thank you. But that's what a lot of people do. But.
With those guys too, like not feeling a competitive team, on top of an owner that's got might leave a bad taste in some people's mouths too. That's going to affect attendance. And
I'm like, well, what is
the boy sitting on the bench? He's not a boy now; he's a man actually. I keep thinking Jordan Love is not right. That they got from San Francisco.
Trey
Lance, thank you. That might be the option. They'll be. See how he's developed. I don't know. Will Jerry finally just say, "Hey, we hadn't won with Dak. He paying them $65 million."
So we're trying to find us some stuff we can show or share maybe on the interweb here for the folks at home. NFL wise, like the cap. Someone's going to figure out. It's. And a lot of teams have already started doing it. It's a lot better to have these young quarterbacks on these contracts, these rookie contracts, than having to pay. Once you got to pay them, you almost got to let them go, Zach. Like, think about it. If Lawrence would have not been better for the Jaguars to spend $40 million on their defense or whatever and draft a good quarterback, but you don't know if you're drafting a good quarterback. But Lawrence hasn't won anything, and I don't know. I think that at some point there's a money, like you were talking about with Dak, where you have to cut back and say, no, I'm gonna. I can't afford that. You can't pay. You just can't pay the $60 million for a quarterback.
And the second thing that comes up in all that is it's not just like performance-wise. It's the next quarterback up. I don't care who it is. It might be anybody between 1 and 10. They're gonna get the top money. So the top guy's not getting the top money, if that makes sense, because Dak's definitely not the top quarterback, but he's the next up to get his contract. So he's going to make the market go even higher. So they don't even care anymore as players that they're not getting paid the highest, because they know the next person up is going to set the market higher. So I just wait my time out when I get my next contract. Unlike running backs that don't get that multiple contracts, they're going to hit, and they're going to get paid in the long run.
Why is everybody? How is sports always, no matter what, they're going up no matter what? That's what
NBA is, and I know we're not in NBA, but NBA is unbelievable. That money they're getting to supplement them is ridiculous at the contracts. You got a scrub that's making $15 million a year there.
So Zach, I do got some fun tweets for you here. How about Bo Jackson's senior stats here in football? He had 1,100 yards rushing, averaged 10 yards a carry, 17 touchdowns. Baseball, Bo hit 20 home runs with a 500 batting average. He tied the national high school record for home runs, and he struck out 14 batters in the county championship. Track and field, he won the state decathlon, the state record triple jump, and the state record in the high jump. Bo Jackson's senior year, pretty good year, wasn't it?
Surprised his rushing yards on 1,100.
Well,
You get that in one game and get hurt.
well, every time you score,
Yeah.
every time you touch it, you score.
But probably the best athlete we probably saw. Would you think, like all around, like could do everything kind of guy?
It is so tough for me to choose between him and Dion.
Dion was in my head too.
I mean, it just is, and Bo had the more muscle, obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing about Dion, Zach, is he did to be a cornerback. I believe, and a lot of people who believe that cornerbacks are the best athletes in the whole world.
Yeah.
And to be the greatest one, no doubt, nobody's arguing this guy's the best that's ever done it. And he played baseball. It is so hard to say that Bo's a better athlete is, but my God, he's like the Hulk out there running around like.
It's almost like you could categorize him in two different categories.
He's the Superman athlete. But Dion, with muscle and everything, and the power, but Dion being able to play.
He was the best at his
being
position.
able to play corner, and being the greatest corner ever, and playing baseball. I'd have to.
I don't think
give
Dion
him,
was as good a baseball player as Bo, but he was a better football player because we got to look at their records on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Bo don't get hurt, that's maybe a different conversation. Bo only had like 3,500 rushing yards, I think.
All right, Zach, let's see if the volume works on this for you. This is for you, Zach's big wrestling fan. Let's see if this works. My sound's not coming out right. Let's see if it was earlier we could hear him. Zach, this is oh, that's why. I'll switch that over to speakers and I'll get that right up. So this is a Hulkamaniac impersonator and a Macho Man all in one.
I'm gonna want to talk to mania. Those grandstanding and this hot dog.
He's arguing with himself.
The Macho Man Randy Savage is the cream of the crop. Does it better. Oh yeah, dig it.
Oh, fuck
What do you think about that costume?
Pretty good.
Half and half there.
The mega part.
Funny. Definitely a good era of wrestling back in the day.
I wonder where that was. So here's some stuff we're gonna go. So Doug Collins was talking about. This is 3 minutes. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. He was talking about Michael scored the game. He only scored 8 points in, and he took him out. He didn't know he had. Doug didn't know that about the streak and everything. And he put him in the next 2 nights. He scored 90-some points in the next 2 nights. But he was talking about Michael came to him and was like, do you believe in me? I don't want you to coach me. I don't want you coaching me if you don't believe in me. And he told him he believed in him, and he scored 90 points the next 2 nights.
And you talking about Phil and Jordan liked Doug Collins a lot too. Like he loved Phil too, but him and Phil Doug had, because if you remember the Washington Wizards time, who'd they get? They got Doug.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what he's talking about. Michael actually hired him, and then he ended up being a coach like 2 years later. Here's Hank Haney talking about the U.S. Open. You know how they excluding some live players from the field. So here's him talking about it.
All right. The field at the U.S. Open. The USGA is destined to have the worst field probably of the year of the major championships. So they found it upon themselves that, hey, you know what, we better invite some of the better players that haven't qualified through our outdated, antiquated qualifying system, which includes the official world golf rankings, which everybody knows are a joke. What kind of official World Golf ranking would have Dustin Johnson, Brooks, you name them, every one of them, Bryson DeChambeau, Joaquin Neiman, Taylor Gooch, Brooks, everyone, every single one of them. What official World Golf rankings would have all those players not even ranked? Half of them I don't even think are in the top 200 now. You got to be top 60 to get an official World Golf ranking. They just gave out the last exemption. I just read it. So some guy named Chris Wood. Wouldn't know him from the man in the moon, but he's ranked 60th in the official World Golf ranking. He got in the U.S. Open. Meanwhile, all these players I'm going to list, top 60, no problem, absolutely in there before they went to LIV. But because they went to LIV, no points, no other criteria are we going to use. Nope, we're not going to do that. No Joaquin Neiman. They're leaving out Taylor Gooch. They're leaving out Patrick Reed. They're leaving out Sergio Garcia. They're leaving out Louis Oosthuizen. Now, Louis Oosthuizen, Patrick Reed, and Sergio Garcia have won major championships. All these players get left out of the U.S. Open. And that weakens the field.
What do you think about that, Zach? I think they need to figure out something. It's got to be something different, don't it?
We know some of the rankings can be a little quirky of what he's talking about. I mean, you're talking about Scotty Scheffler that's at world number one, and Chip was talking about last week how long it would take for him to lose that world number one ranking. So the way that they do stuff on rankings is odd. And if you're an LIV player, then you're not going to get the points to be in that.
Significant moment. Do you take pride in this?
You're excluding the best golfers in the. Sergio's not the best golfer in the world, but Sergio can bring viewership.
Oh yeah. So here, did you see Joe Mazzulla being asked about being the only black head coaches in so many years, and he responded about
being a Christian. Yeah, like that with Boston. It shocked everybody. What he said, but it's definitely true.
Ben Stewart, Yahoo Sports. For the first time since 1975, this is the NBA Finals where you have two black head coaches. Given the plight sometimes of black head coaches in the NBA, do you think this is a significant moment? Do you take pride in this? How do you view this, or do you not see it at all?
I wonder how many of those have been Christian coaches.
Told you, it shocked him. Silence. You haven't seen.
David Aldridge?
They didn't even have followed him. Nobody answered him. Nobody answered him. Nobody said anything. They all just looked at each other, and then they went to the next person. So, all right. Couple fun Cardinals things. Zach, before we get out of here, we got to go here in a minute. Cardinals got one vote out of 86 on a piece about the most desirable places to play. That is not St. Louis baseball. One vote out of 86. Braves came in first. Red Sox second. Dodgers third. Rangers, Yankees, Cubs, Padres, Phillies, Diamondbacks. Cardinals with one
Which is bad because we talk about the winning history that they've had for years. You know, they put a good product on the field, except for the last two.
All right, Zach, I'm going to leave you with this. Yep. This is NBA All-Star Weekend 1-on-1. Should we have more of this? This is Dr. J versus Kareem. Kareem banks in the three, and they sit there and say he couldn't play back in the day. Here's your all-time leading scorer banking in a three.
Right. 7'3", I think Kareem was also.
He's also a black belt in karate.
Yeah.
Here's Dr. J.
I mean, if somebody's that long, I mean, what do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we talk about size. You can't. Size is just size.
Well, he just takes Dr. J to the.
I mean, what are you going to do with that?
And that's why I was trying to explain to Tom about playing some of the ladies. Is that like
they can't do anything? I don't care how good they are.
Go to the right. Like, that's Dr. J, and he's just finger rolling over him like he's not even there. Hey, Kareem and Jay. Whoo! Got him a dunk in right there. Nice little play. You ever seen this footage?
I haven't.
I hadn't either. Pretty cool. But shouldn't they have this at All-Star Weekend?
Absolutely. I go back to the
Kareem. It was 17-5. Zach, you see that?
Creamed him, didn't he? I go back to the Dream Team game that nobody, that this always talked about, that they played each other.
Yeah.
The Jordan taking they need that kind of
Competitiveness.
Yes. Same thing with this. Something fun, but to put those two teams, Magic choose his, Jordan choose his, and then Magic says something really stupid.
So this is Victor Hoven. Ain't going to play it. They asked him if he's played with Jordan yet, and he said yeah. And he says something about it being embarrassing because, basically Shuffler beat him through 14 holes, and Jordan was like, he talked junk and said something to him. Jordan was like, all right, bet, last 4 holes, whatever. And Jordan beat him straight up, no handicap, no nothing. And he was like, I was kind of embarrassed. He said, I shouldn't have said nothing.
I'm telling you that if somebody was born with that, turn the switch on, it's the world.
This guy showed up at the member guest, Zach. Hold on, let me go to it. Show the folks at home. Check it out. He showed up at the member guest tournament this week at his golf club with a dummy police officer attached to his car.
That's awesome.
So he showed up at this golf course.
That's awesome. At least we got video footage of that one.
Sheffley, we got video footage of that one. Sheffley. Zach, this they asked ChatGPT. I'm going to read this for you, then we'll get out of here. You're going to like it. They asked ChatGPT. Now, this is going to make you mad. I'm going to warn you.
Mm-hmm.
To simulate Kobe Bryant's career,
yeah,
if the Hornets would have kept him. Okay? So for the folks at home, you're gonna laugh. This is so typical of our world. Year 1, Kobe 8 points a game, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Hornets go 55-27. Year 2, the Hornets losing the first round to the Knicks 3-2. In year 3, Kobe averages 16, 3 and 7. Hornets go 53-29. It doesn't say where they lost in the playoffs or whatever. I don't know why. Year 4, the Hornets beat the Hawks 3-1 before falling to Chicago 4-2. Year 5, Kobe 25-4. Hornets go 30-20 in the lockout season. Oh, it said playoffs year 3. Hornets beat the Sixers but lose to the Magic. All right, so that's year 3. So after 3 years, Zach, being drafted by the Hornets, right? Remember, what was the title of this? What would happen to Kobe Bryant's career if he had been drafted by the Charlotte Hornets instead? So after 3 years, they lose in the playoffs every year, second round, and then he decides to sign with the New York Knicks. We sit here and thought this was going to be a thread about the Charlotte Hornets. It was going to read about maybe some Glenn Rice or someone else playing with them. Hey, how are they doing? Did they ever beat the Bulls? They beat the Magic. Year 4, he's a Knick. And I respond to this. People, please don't click on this because all it is a New York Knicks thing. And then you got to go through the read 17 years of being a Knick. I'm fed up with some of this stuff. You thought it was a story about the Charlotte Hornets. Finally, this would be kind of cool. Let's see what Kobe did.
It's 3 years.
No, let's talk about
his Laker years.
He was only here 3 years.
He didn't do well when he first started with the Lakers either. He came off the bench.
Well, yeah, they got those. That's exactly what they got. They just pretty much took those stats and did the same. And then oh no, we're sending him to the Lakers instead. It's just the most. Knicks instead. So it's just don't click on it.
Larry Johnson's already been there, so I already got a bad taste in my mouth for that. So I as much as I loved Alonzo Mourning, I know we're getting out of here, but I love Glenn Rice too.
I got one more for you since you can put some cussing on the internet and this ain't on the radio. Here's Daryl Armstrong
from Gastonia.
Went to Ashbrook. I've been to his basketball camp. I've got 2 videos for him, but I think this is the one we're talking. He set up. I think this is the short one. Bulls lost to the Magic in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. This is it. This is the one we'll play. Daryl's funny in this one. All right, hold on, folks. Let me get him up for you. So this is Daryl Armstrong again, Gastonia native. He was on the Orlando Magic talking about playing. They beat the Bulls and this is when he was number 45.
That would have been
Brown, who played Michael Jordan. That's when Nick Anderson stole the ball. To this day, until I saw Last Dance, I did not know Nick Anderson said 45 is not 23. Oh, Lord. I would have said, man, y'all, you don't shut the fuck up. What you doing? So, game 2, he comes out and keeps his top on. They did the announcement. Man, number 45, Michael Jordan. Yeah, crowd go crazy.
We lost it.
It's spinning.
Kept his top on. Boy, both teams broke out of the huddles, coming to the court. That bumper took out that damn thing. I saw 2, 3. I said, oh, Lord, we're in trouble. Superman's in the building back. hit the first one and missed the second one on purpose. He was like, what the fuck you doing? Somebody said, look at the scoreboard. He left 45 on the scoreboard. Round, we played
So
Michael Jordan.
they told him
That's when Nick
45,
Anderson held the
823.
ball.
He comes back the next year, sweeps them, and he's got 45 points in the game, and he misses the free throw on purpose just so he'll have 45 just to show them boys what he is. So there you go. There's your last Jordan tidbit of the day. We're going to be back tomorrow morning. Myself and Chip and Terry and Tom will be in the studios, kdcbroadcasting.com. Tune in during the week. We're going to get some more podcasts going up during the week. We'll see us on Facebook today. We're going to get out of here. We got some things to get to. And you guys have a great weekend. See you tomorrow morning on the Joxx podcast, kdcbroadcasting.com.